Right, okay. November 2024. Paper 1. No calculator. Tough. You can do this. It's fine. Right, okay. So, Sarans, whatever. 2 cranes drawn to scale are shown. Sarans is 250 meters tall. What height is Samson? Right, so to do something like this, I know it's got something to do with comparing the measurements. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure what this is on there. It is approximately 10 centimeters. And then I look to see what this one is, and it is approximately 4 centimeters. So if that is 10 centimeters, the first thing I want to do is find out what 1 centimeter height would be in this. I want to work out the conversion so then I can times it by 4. So I do 250 divided by 10 equals 25, because obviously to divide by 10 you just remove the 0. And then if 1 centimeter equals 25 meters, 1 centimeter equals 25 meters, then 4 centimeters is going to be 25 times 4. So 4 centimeters equals 25 times, oh my god, 25 times 4, which equals 100. So that one is going to be 100 meters tall. 4 marks, but that was a bit brutal for a lot of people to see. If you're looking at that and thinking they've got, they haven't given you all the information, consider the fact that you've got gadgets for a reason for this paper. You have to work out what the conversion is based on the measurements that you take. Right, okay. Next. A fair-sided dice is shown. Write the probability that it lands on a number greater than 5. Well, there is only 1. So it'll be 1 out of, remember, probabilities are always given as a fraction. There's 6 options on a dice, so it's 1 out of 6. An event is certain to happen. Mark this on the probability. That 0 means impossible. That is 50-50 evens. That is absolutely, it's definitely going to happen. So my X goes there. An event is unlikely to happen. So it's not impossible. It's definitely not certain. It's not even evens. It's less than that. There isn't a notch there, but I want you to imagine that there is, because it's halfway between there and there. So that's the unlikely one. Clay has a drawer of t-shirts. He has 5 red t-shirts. 5 red. Probability that he picks a red t-shirt at random is 1/4. How many t-shirts are there all together? Well, if 5 equals 1/4, 2 quarters, 10 would be 2 quarters. 15 would equal 3 quarters. If each quarter is 5, then you would eventually work out that 20 would be 4 quarters, and 4 quarters is the whole thing. So he has 20 t-shirts. Ooh, cake. Is that one not in colour? Anyway, 14 out of 20 people who had dinner in a restaurant ordered dessert. What is the ratio? Oh, everybody loves ratio. Of the number of people who ordered dessert to the number of people who didn't order dessert. Okay. 14 ordered dessert. So 14 is our first number. Ratio is given as the double dots. How many people didn't? It's not 20. 20 people did not order dessert, if you know what I mean. It was 20 minus 14, which is 6. 6 people didn't order, because the total, it's out of 20. So that's going to be 14 double dot 6. But it says in simplest form, so you would only get 1 mark for that. You have to see what's the highest number that they can both be divided by. Right, well, the 2 goes into both of them, so divide them both by 2. And you get 7 double dot 3. And that's as simplified as it goes. Oh, they give you the wee dots. Oh, that was very nice. Not everybody remembers what that is. 3 of these 20 people in the restaurant changed their minds. Oh, do my head in. And ordered dessert. So how many didn't order dessert? 6 people didn't order dessert initially. They then decided that they were going to order dessert. So now 3 people didn't order. And you add the 3 onto the 14 there, which gives you 17 people. So then write the ratio of that. So 17 this time, and now 3 on the other side. So the balance has changed, and nothing goes into either of those because they're both prime numbers. But of course you know this because you know your prime numbers, don't you? Practice your prime numbers. Out of curiosity, it's 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19. Learn those ones. Anyway, Luke is going to choose 2 different pizza toppings. He can choose that. Write down all the topping combos that he can choose. Right, 2 different ones. So he can have ham with chili. He can have ham with mushroom. You can have ham with olives. Or you can have chili with, we can't do with the ham and chili with mushrooms, chili with olives. You can do mushrooms with olives. And that is it. Oh, I'm done. Yay. Right, Max is playing a game of cards. Oh, so many words. There are 4 blue cards, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. The yellow, 2, 3, and 4. Cards are placed in order facing downwards. He takes 1 blue card at random and 1 yellow card at random. He multiplies the 2. I am actually literally bored reading that. I see this. I know I have to work it out. But pay very close attention to what this one tells you to do. Sometimes it's a plus. So 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. 2 times 4. 3 times 4. 4 times 4. What is the probability that he gets a score which is an even number? How many of these are even? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 10 out of the total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. A number greater than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, no. Greater than 4. So 4 is not included. See how I nearly got tricked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 12. Oh my gosh. A prime number. You'll remember your prime numbers now. 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are the only prime number. Yep, 2 and 3. So that's 2 out of 12 are prime numbers. Prime numbers pop up far too often. Just know them. Okay, write down the next 2 terms of the sequence. Right, we'll always write down how you get from one to the next, because then when you see it, it's easier. So that's take away 2. Don't assume it's going to be the same, because in this case, it's not. 37 to 33 is take away 4. That is take away 6. That is take away 8. You see the pattern here. The next one is going to be take away 10, which gets you to 9. And this one is going to be take away 12, which is minus 3. Laura deposits that amount in a bank for 1 year. The rate of interest is 2% per year. How much interest does she receive at the end of the year? Right, okay. They'll always give you these in the non-calculator where you have to find 10% first or 1%. Because you're looking for 2%, it's going to be much easier to find 1% first and then double your answer to get the 2%. So to find 1%, 1% is going to be your 7,200 divided by 100. And that is 72. And then 2% is going to be that times by 2. To do it this way, 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 7 is 14. We're finished. We're done. £144. You can always go back and learn how to do this one because the percentages come up a lot. The first 4 patterns are shown. Write down the total number of squares for each of the patterns shown. Right, well, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thankfully, you can just look at the picture for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You should recognise the sequence of numbers. If you don't, put it on your planner and make sure you do. That is 1 squared. That is 2 squared. That is 3 squared. That is 4 squared. 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4. Use your answer to calculate the total number of squares in 7. It's going to be 7 squared, which of course is 49. But again, you know this because you've been practicing your square numbers. The number of black squares also follows the sequence. Ugh. Right, okay, so I'm going to write these ones down. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you look to see what's the pattern there. The pattern there, there's plus 3 each time. And it is each time, it hasn't changed. Use this sequence to work out the number of white squares in pattern 7. Right, okay. So that's pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's going to be 19 black squares in pattern 7. So to find out how many whites, it's going to be 49 take away the 19. So 49 minus 19. 9 take away 9 is nothing. 4 take away 1 is 3. 30. That was 3 marks. That was actually pretty dead on. You'll be fine. Just lots of calculations, as usual. Right, a school canteen asked a sample of students what drink they bought in the canteen, blah, blah, blah. On a later day, 300 students buy a drink in the canteen. How many do you expect to buy tea? This is probability in disguise. They haven't mentioned probability. They haven't even said an estimate. It's knowing that if this is what they got from this number, and we're going to find out by totaling this all up, then you apply that. Use that probability fraction to find out how many it would be out of 300. So I'm going to add these. That plus that is 16. 16 plus 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23, plus 7 is 30. So this is out of 30. And the T was 6. So 6 out of 30 is the probability of that T. Whenever you're working with a probability and have to do a calculation with it, I highly recommend you simplify it. So what goes into those? If you're not sure, just if it's an even number, divide them both by 2. So that gives you 3 out of 15. You'll then spot that 3 goes into both of these. Divide them both by 3. You've got 1 over 5. So 1/5 of 300. And what does of mean? You times them. Or in this case, because you don't have a calculator, you do the old school way. So it's going to be this number divided by this bottom of the fraction and then times it by the top one. So it's going to be 300 divided by 5 and then times by 1. So I'm going to use bus stop for that one. Divided by 5. 5 into 3, can't get any 5s out of 3. There's not enough. You bring the 3 over, that's now 30. How many 5s in 30? There are 6 5s in 30. How many 5s in 0? No. That is our answer because 60 times 1 is still just 60. Alright. Next, translate the shape to, oh, I love a translation. There's no hardness in this. This is the good. If you see translation, you're happy. 2 to the right and then 5 down. So I'm going to take each corner, go 2 right, 1, 2, and then 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my first dot. This one, 2 right, 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can kind of see the pattern and I'm totally going to cheat. This one is 1, 2, 3 up. So 1, 2, 3. There, done. If you're not sure, just double check. Oh, I really should have done this in pencil. See, whenever you're doing any kind of drawing in this, do it in pencil because you never know, you might make a slight mistake. And if you've done it in pen, you can't undo that. Definitely do pencil. Don't do it in pink. Right. Okay, next up. Describe the fully the trend. What goes there to there? So A to B, that is a mirror image. So that's a reflection. You go through all 4 transformations in your head. Translation is where they've taken it and moved it across and down. But no, that's a flip mirror image. The enlargement is it's got bigger or smaller in some cases, which it hasn't. Rotation is where they've twisted it. So that is definitely a reflection. But with reflection, you have to say on a line. So it's this line here. That's the halfway point between them. And that's the x-axis. So reflection on the x-axis is my answer to that one. Right, this was brutal. This was only worth 3. So you see if you get a fraction-y question and it's really tough. Most people get this wrong. So don't panic. Just do the best you can. We're at the end of the paper almost. So get most of these right and you're still going to pass. A square is divided into 2 halves. Top half is divided into 3 parts. The bottom half is blah, blah, blah. What fraction of the whole square is shaded? Right, we have to see this. That's half of the shape. So we've got 1/3 of a half. So 1/3 of a half. So to do that, of means times. So we're going to do 1/3 times a half to find out how much of this is shaded. And whenever you're timesing with fractions, it's just the top number times the top number gives you your new top number. Bottom number times the bottom number gives you your new bottom number. So this is 1/6. So now the next one, it's going to be, that's 2/4 of a half. But 2/4 is the same as a half. So it's a half of a half. Half of a half, which is a half times a half, because you know that of means times. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. So now that is 1/4. So it's that plus that is how much is shaded. And this is the slightly tougher bit. 1/6 plus 1/4. What you need to do is you can't add them whenever the bottom numbers are different. You need to make them the same. So we're going to make them the same. What's the smallest number that they both go into? 6 goes into 12 and 4 goes into 12. So we're going to turn them into 12s. How do you get from your 6 to 12? You times it by 2. and that's what you do to your top number. Plus, how do you get from 4 to 12? You times it by 3. So that's what we're going to do to our top number. 3 times 1 is 3. Yeah. And then you can add them, because it's, 2 Mars bars plus 3 Mars bars is 5 Mars bars. Is the same. So the answer is 5/12. But that is a really tricky question. Most people struggle when it comes to finding fractions of fractions. But no, just do your best and try and think of all the things that you know. Right, this, you should be on autopilot with this. Work out the size of the obtuse angle there. Right, to find that, I need this one, which as you can see is a right angle, and I need that one. When I have both of those, that makes a full rotation, which will be 360 degrees. So that plus that, take it away from 360, we get that. So that one's obviously going to be 90 degrees. So park that, we know we've got that. This one here, you have to see how many lines does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's five lines. If you can remember this, that is going to help a lot in finding your missing angles of a polygon or different, many shapes or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people don't. But if you know that a 4-sided shape, 4 sides adds up to make 360, 5 sides is going to be that plus an extra 180. Every time you add a side, you add 180. So you can either do it that way, which gives you 540, or you can do it this way. N stands for the number of sides of the shape, so it'll be 5. Take away 2, which is 3, and it'll be 3 times 180, which you will see 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3, 4, 5. 540. So both methods will work for you. So we know that the 5 sides add up to 540, but we don't want that. That's what that plus that plus that plus that plus that equals. So we only need one of those. So we divide that by 5. So we're going to do 540 divided by 5. Bus stop. How many 5s in 5? There's 1. How many 5s in 4? Not enough. So we carry over our 4. How many 5s in 40? There are 8. So it's 108 degrees for each of those angles. So we've got 108 plus 90, which gives you 198. And remember I said that's 90, that's 108. To get D, it's going to be 360, take away those. So we're going to do 360 minus 198. 0 take away 8 you can't do. When there's more on the floor, you have to go next door. So take away 1 from him, leaves him with 5. That brings the 1 over, that's now 10. 10 take away 8 is 2. 5 take away 9, can't do, go next door. That is now 2. This is now 15. 15 take away 9 is 6, and 2 take away 1 is 1. So the answer is 162. That was worth 4 marks. That was a lot, but these are things you can do. All right, Kevin tosses a coin. He knows it is biased. It lands 60 times on heads. Okay. Kevin uses his experiment to work out that the relative frequency of his coin landing on heads. Relative frequency, by the way, is just the same as probability. Pretty much just different name. It's 2/3. How many times did he toss the coin? Right, if 2/3 is equal to this number of times, we have to work out first of all what 1/3 was, and then when we know what 1/3 is, we can work out what 3/3 were, and 3/3 is the whole thing. That's the total, and that's what we're looking for. So if 2 of these is 60, 1 of these is going to be half of that, which would be 30, which means 3 of them is going to be 30 times 3, which is 90. So he did it 90 times. They're just weirdly worded, that's all. Yeah, or nearly done. All right. Oh, yeah, this question. Well, this was fun. This, I think, was a lot of work for what it was. But, again, you're at the end of the paper. If you've got a good chunk of all these other ones already done, then you've passed and you don't even need to sit these. But, it'd be nice to get 100%. Katie used flour to make muffins. She used an equal amount of flour per muffin. To begin with, she made 3 muffins and had 3/4 flour left. What fraction of her flour was used for each muffin? Right, well, if she had 3/4 left, then she had 1/4 that she used. So she used 1/4 of the flour, and 1/4 made 3 muffins. So if 1/4 is 3 muffins, we need to work out what 1 muffin would be. So we need to divide this by 3, which is, well, what I do to do that, I just think this is a slightly easier. It's not really worth the one. There's another connection that I can do that's much faster, but it's harder to go, and you're going to struggle to remember it. So I would rather do it this way. Divide by fraction, so it's divide by 3 over 1, okay? Because that's what whole numbers are, just themselves over 1. You only you've only one person that has it. So I suggest you do it this way, and then you have to remember the KFC method for dividing. KFC means you keep the first fraction, which is a quarter. You flip the second fraction, which then becomes that, and then you change the sign from divide to times, and then you do that. 1 times 1, 1. 4 times 3, 12. So it's 1/12. And then I made another 7 muffins, giving a total of 12 muffins. 10 muffins, and had 50 grams left. How many grams of flour did she use for each muffin? Right, okay. So if one muffin uses 1/12 of the things, she made 10 muffins. So she used 10/12, which means if she has 50 grams left, then there would have been 2/12 left over. And 2/12 is equal to 50 grams. So I'm going to simplify this down, because working with fractions, it's easier to go in its simplest form. Divide them both by 2, then you get 1/6. And 1/6 is equal to 50 grams. And if 1/6 is 50 grams, how much did she use for each muffin? Oh, it was probably better to use the 12. Sorry. Well, do you know what? I'm going to go back to that. 2/12 equals 50 grams. We just needed to find out what 1/12 is. 1/12. So it's going to be half of that. 25 grams. So she used 25 grams for each muffin. Done. But there's so many fraction questions. And look, there's another one. But this is the last question of this paper. Right. Okay. The area of the triangle is that. Oh, no, the triangle C. So C is 120. And it is half of the rectangle in total. So that plus that plus that equals 120. Okay, that's just handy to know. I'm just going to pop that down there. A plus B plus D equals 120, just in case I need it. The ratio of triangle A to the whole rectangle. Oh, if that's the whole rectangle, then it's going to be 240 is the total area of the whole rectangle. So rectangle equals 240, because if half of it is 120, the whole thing's going to be 240. So A to the rectangle is a ratio of 1.4. So what I can see here is, I'm looking at my connections here. I know that the rectangle is 240. So what am I going to get there? How do I get from 4 to 240? And you're like, huh? So what you do here is you divide it. Is how many 4s can you get out of 240? I'm going to do bus stop. 240 divided by 4. How many 4s in 2? There aren't any. Carry it over. How many 4s in 24? 6 4s are 24. How many 4s in 0? 0. So that has to be, oh yeah, oh my god, yeah, no, I had it right. Times by 60. So 1 times 60 is 60. So the area of A is 60. Okay, the next one, D. D to the rectangle is 1/6. And again, you know it's going to be out of 240. So how do you get from 6 to that? Now you can do bus stop, or you can see the connection from the previous one, but sure, we'll see. 6 into 2 doesn't go. 6 into 24 goes 4 times. 6 into 0. So it's times by 40. So that's what we do to this. We times that by 40, which gives us 40. So the area of D is 40. And you have to work out the area of triangle B. Well, we know that A, this is going back to this one, A plus B plus D is 120. So I do this, 60 plus 40 equals 100. So 120 minus 100, because we want the leftover, is 20. That's 20 centimetres squared. Done. But that was rotten, like really rotten. 4 marks. But again, you're done. So that's it, finished. Nice one. Paper 1 covered.